I see so many people, and you and I have done this over the last couple of hours. We think so much about the future and the uncertainty of the future, but a lot of value comes from just looking backwards and connecting the dots and then thinking, what is it that I now know that I want to take forward and add value to others?
Sort of adjacent to that, but related, is another thing I think a lot about, which is trying to get more information and experiences from a wide set of reference points. Because when I think about innovation generally, innovation is the connection of like two ideas or thoughts or principles that someone else hasn't put together. So I think about the like non-stick frying pan. It was a guy who was fishing and was trying to get a material so his fishing tackle didn't stick together. And his wife walks past allegedly and says, "I'd love some of that stuff on our pans." And that ends up selling tens and tens of millions of non-stick pans. And even when you think about the iPhone, that was a combination of an internet device, a music device, and a telecommunications device put together, which you rarely found those three things in one space. Three different reference points. To achieve that, someone would have had to understand music, the internet, and phones.
Yeah.
And even Steve Jobs himself, his skill stack contains typography and design, which is why he was able to disrupt BlackBerry.
He stumbled into a calligraphy class at university and loved calligraphy. And he was the first company to ever have fonts. And those fonts became a huge differentiator on the first Mac. And it was only because he had like combined calligraphy with computers. He created the font idea.
So maybe the future's owned by the wide, not the narrow in this regard.
Definitely. Become more of a generalist, become more curious, and go out of your comfort zones, right? The industrial age asked us to simply specialize and do one thing over and over. The grandfather of capitalism is a guy called Adam Smith, and he said ultimately efficiency is about doing one thing in the process over and over and over, but he said it's going to destroy the human spirit. He actually wrote about the fact that destroys the human spirit, having to just twist this knob over and over. That creates the most value in the economy, but it's horrible for you as a human. And he recognized that problem from the very beginning. What we've been trained to do is just twist the knob, twist the knob, twist the knob, do the same thing over and over. What we need to relearn how to do is allow us to become more human and say, actually, I'm going to explore nature. I'm going to explore this weird passion that I have for particular theatre companies and how they run. I'm going to go and explore this thing about like entrepreneur accelerators. I'm going to combine things. It's those rare combinations. And you need to trust your instincts that you're actually pulling on a few threads and bringing them together.